first side of this bracket. So our very next match will be meowmix, the Harley player, versus FPZ, the Martin player, as I stated earlier. Now, Wisely, you saw that match. Do you have any notes for those people who may just be joining now in the broadcast that may not have necessarily seen meowmix or FPZ previously?
I mean, I think the key notes to take away from both of these two earlier is how proficient they are.
Yes.
This isn't just a like, oh, you're doing big damage, you're doing this. They both clearly have exactly what they're going for. They know their setups, they know how to play. I mean, I think it's worth noting all four people in the top four here play different characters.
They do.
They are all specialists. They are all either specialists at the game in general, because this Marvin play is going out of this world right now. I cannot believe how long this extension is going.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well, because besides the previous match that we noticed, we did state that FPZ was playing a really good matchup in Marvin's favor. Wisp, of course, plays Bugs Bunny, and when you put a mage like Bugs Bunny against Marvin, you're going to have a bad time. Yep. Harley is much more hands-on, as most assassins are. Yeah, and so we're not going to see as many projectiles, and it's really interesting and almost insane to me personally that Marvin has already managed to put this much damage on Harley.
I mean, almost double here. Let's go 191. Or sorry, just 91.
Yeah.
But this is still moving and grooving.
Yeah.
I mean, Harley has projectiles. Those will certainly come into play against Marvin, but she needs to get in your face before it happens.
That is so close. Them. Yeah.
Say that was so close before that to going off the corner, and that will indeed go off the top. But Harley is coming straight down, uses that invincibility to run right into the Marvin's face.
Now, viewers at home who may not be necessarily familiar with certain MultiVersus mechanics will see the words attack DK come up. Attack DK is actually triggered by using 3 or more of the same moves inside of a combo inside of here, and it actually results in less knockback in addition to less damage putting on your opponent. It's instrumental that you change up these moves, and what we're seeing is FPZ just ignore some of the aspects of attack DK and basically in these combos because they want to elongate some of these strings at the sacrifice of damage.
And it's one of those things where if you're able to get that going, and everyone thinks like, oh, attack decay, it's really bad because I want to make sure I'm getting the most amount of damage for my buck.
Yeah.
But there's certain moves that won't link unless they are weaker already because you're doing less knockback. So you can actually keep the combo longer. You might need to get 5 hits to equal the same 2 from before.
Exactly.
But you'll take that if you have it unlocked, you will take that every day of the week.
And FPZ is very comfortable with that, especially with Marvin, I've noticed. And, wow! Okay, so what I think we're actually seeing here is not just FPZ's Marvin doing incredibly well, but I think this is actually a knowledge check right now. As I stated previously, FPZ was actually considered the #1 Harley inside of the world. Super Man, Bugsy, I apologize. This is coming from his mouth at first. This is what FPZ told me before we started part of Top 8. I was told by him that he understands Harley literally to the point that he could basically play her in his sleep. So I think FPZ is really, really comfortable with anything meowmix can bring to the table.
meowmix might have some sauce, though. What are we cooking? No? All right. One of the things you really have to be aware of is that Marvin the Martian can make his own platform over there.
Yes, he can.
Yep. The spaceship, people think of the funny, like, oh, I'm carrying you off the top. It also just can get there. You can refresh those resources.
No, I've played Morty's. I don't think spaceships are very funny at all.
Let's see here. Ooh, the pause right before getting hit.
So that flag actually gives Marvin a lock-on, so any ray gun shots that go or any projectiles that come in, they immediately hit the lock-on character after there's in there. That's kind of why Marvin's planting his flag, trying to get that proc on. But as you can see, it is a very long cooldown, so you can't just spam it forever. Yeah, really nice there by FPZ. I don't think either of us expected a different outcome from this.
No, that was fantastic play.
I do want to remind our viewers at home that this is winners finals, meaning that this is a first of 3, otherwise known as best of 5, meaning that the winner of this match will need to secure 3 separate wins inside of this set.
You don't need to get those 3 games in a row.
Yes.
That's the best of part, but once you get the first one, you're now putting so much pressure on your opponent because it's not just like, oh, I need to get those 3 wins.
Yeah.
But if you're playing from behind, that mental pressure of like, not only do I need to play well, do I need to beat them, but I have to do that now at least 3 out of the next 4 times. And then sometimes if it gets to that reverse 3-0, you have to do it so much. I'm going to stop talking, though, because that was a bonkers 0 to death coming out from FPZ.
That's absolutely crazy. I'll dissect that afterwards if we have replays.
I don't think we have time. It just keeps going. But meowmix is mounting an offense of his own.
That Harley bomb, gotta reflect. You gotta respect that Harley bomb on there. Gets the ignite off. So now Marvin sitting at 82% actually now. But you know what? I think FPZ's comfy with the percentage as long as he gets that damage off.
I thought we were about to see another dead
Almost
Harley.
did. Almost did. Just ran out of up specials.
FPZ is one of those players that doesn't really, like, damage is important.
Yeah.
FPZ doesn't really care.
No, FPZ, I can tell FPZ really isn't mindful in any way, shape, or really respecting any of the damage that comes out from meowmix. Once again, that Harley understanding is just on fleek, friend.
We've been talking about how the character swap from FPZ went from like, oh, you're probably the best at this character, like, oh, you might be best in the world now.
Yeah.
But knowing that, all of that knowledge against that same character means you're able to do some disgusting stuff.
Now, like we said before, Harley doesn't have a large arsenal of basically projectiles to put out there, but somehow FPZ is still making that bubble work. We saw earlier it did actually capture the glove, which was that 0 to death that we saw at the start of it. So there's a lot of nasty things that I think FPZ would specifically do against meowmix, and what we're ultimately seeing is meowmix be a little bit more conservative about what he actually chooses to throw out. We're seeing a lot more uplink crucible. That's actually the very first couple of fists that we've seen come in down air format from meowmix since that very first knockout.
And that's one of those things where it's both good because you gotta respect your opponent, but also if you're not getting to that spot of like, I feel comfortable mounting my offense from these starters, these kind of things, it doesn't matter. Oh my god.
80% in one string.
I'm just trying to explain how the game works and you won't stop playing.
In one string. Marvin's neutral air is incredibly strong. Marvel's neutral attack, not neutral air, but neutral attack, the little, like, just, you know, where he hits his button, that is so incredibly strong right now.
Ooh, not off the top yet, but does get that lock on. If Marvin doesn't have that, the blaster just goes pretty short distance, just right in front of him. Having that target is huge, though, off the top, and that's going to be it.
We got one more win for FPZ before he moves into Grand Finals. Is there any way that meowmix comes back here? Candidly, I tell you right now, take him to Sky Arena.
Take a breather.
Take him to Sky Arena. Take him to Treetops. Do not take him back to Trophy's Edge, please. I'm begging you.
I think we're going back.
If we go to Cromulons, you have a chance. If we go to Throne Room, you have a chance. If we go to Bat Cave, you have a chance.
I think we're going back to Trophy's Edge, though.
Don't take him to Trophy's Edge. Don't do it. Yeah, thank you.
Ooh, okay.
Thank you.
Listens to your advice.
I agree with it wholeheartedly, truthfully. You have many more land opportunities from this. I candidly, we were watching earlier, I believe it was Wisp versus Bocce when we were watching that match, and you saw situations where specifically the Harley just didn't have places. Actually, I believe it was Tikala versus Costly where we were watching the Harley versus the Batman, and they chose to go to Sky Arena, no platforms. The platforms are so important. Yes. So you can already see how much easier it is for meowmix to approach here, how much more damage we're getting on FPZ. Much smarter choice.
Go up. You can drop through the platform to approach from the sky. You
land cancel, so many options.
Instead of like, oh, I have to burn resources just to get above you and then drop. Yeah.
And Harley's down air, which is with the perk that she took, movable, significantly stronger on platforms because it can really reach anywhere on here.
I mean, we've said that, and it definitely looks stronger because we're already at 105.
Yeah.
Can meowmix clean this up? Because what I'm really worried about is the minute that FPZ gets the combos going, the damage just goes out so fast.
All she needs is one up charge or one up special. She needs literally...
She's not finding it, though.
Yeah, I'm a little bit...
She's not finding it, though.
She's looking for these down airs right now to go ahead and get that final attack on Marvin, and it's just unfortunately not following it up. Sky Arena does have higher ceilings than Trophy's Edge.
That was gross.
Yeah.
That was gross. And baited. Knew that meowmix was very antsy. He's like, I gotta make something happen, and as soon as meowmix jumped up, FPZ just blasted off the top.
This is the true danger, I feel, with FPZ, is he's comfortable at any percentage as long as he has that stock advantage. it's
comfortable at any percentage, but has shown huge proficiency in the, like, I'll do the extended combos and kill you at 180. I also might get a very cheesy, cheeky, like, oh, you're at 30, but I've carried you so close to the blast zone already that it doesn't matter that we're at low damage.
Yes, honey!
Ooh, let's see here.
Okay. I thought that
You got very excited for a second.
No, because I know what happens when Harley links like that. I know what ends at the end.
I've seen him.
Yeah. Let me just give you an idea for those of you at home. It ends with a knockout, truthfully. You know, and I want to kind of harken back to what you were saying previously about FPZ's superpower of understanding when to engage and when not to engage. There's only really been one other person in bracket, specifically in top 8, that we've seen do that so far, and that has been Leviathan.
Absolutely.
So it's an understanding of neutral. It's an understanding.
Is Leviathan not here. Leviathan didn't even make top 4. Still an upset.